Hello, everyone. I just wanted to give you my thoughts on Monday range, a few perspectives on how I look at things, and a few things that you can do in regards to data collection going forward. So to begin with, I've just drawn this candle, on a daily time frame here, and Monday typically sets the tone for the week, as most people would say, but they do so without any sort of data points behind tracking, how pivotal Monday actually is. People always look at Monday, but without any sort of data collection behind it, and I find that kind of baffling, as they're kind of just going off of hunch as to whether Monday range will be influential or not. Okay. But I'm going to give you some hints as to what you can collect to kind of actually gather some sort of actual real edge in regards to Monday range. So to begin with, I've just drawn this on the high and low of Monday range. And as you can see in this week, we're on Sunday now and we haven't actually seen any sort of break of Monday range. So we're actually still really internal of that Monday range. It's not been influential at all. Now, where most people seem to find some sort of influential point is, upon the break of a Monday range. So what I've done here is if I just highlight this is the last week's Monday range, and they would typically say, it's highly probable if we see a break of Monday range low or whatever that you see continuation in that direction. Now, that's cool or not, but here's something I'd actually highly recommend for you to actually keep track of, which is if you see an initial break of Monday range, okay, as you do in this scenario here, so you've got the high, the low, and then you have this first initial break of Monday range, what is the probability that the opposing high is then taken out? Or the opposing pivot, because it can be the reverse way around. Okay, so you can see here that this pivot was initially taken out. You then saw a move back into the Monday range, but the opposing side pivot was not taken out. Okay, so this will take you, I'd recommend collecting 2-3 years worth of data points on this on this stuff. That's it's only 100, 150, 200, pivots to actually be keeping track of, and continue tracking that going forward as well. But this can be really beneficial. One, for example, in this case, you saw the initial break of Monday range, and then you're thinking to yourself, okay, price moved back above this. Everyone's going to be thinking we're heading higher. We're seeing massive new highs on Bitcoin or whatever. But you've got a certain data, or percentage chance that this is not going to happen. I know the chance of this. I don't want to spoon feed it to you, but I'm telling you, this is something you should be collecting for yourself. But you can see here again, if we just move back, Monday, again, the week before, Monday range, initial break. Again, everyone's thinking in this case, right, that you're going to be seeing, new highs, we're all seeing again, you see a massive weekly upside. Everyone at this point is thinking 69, 9, we're hitting above 70K. But for example, that there's potentially, this pivot might not get taken out still, right? Again, based on your stats. So I'd highly recommend you look at this type of stuff. Again, not only does this offer some sort of short opportunity, but, if you're in a short already, this provides a really good invalidation point, as kind of a Monday range being, sort of influential in this case. So that's what I really want to talk about. I didn't really want to talk about too much aside from this because it's really, really important. Again, you can see here, it worked on the opposing direction. You got the Monday range initially, you get the break, any sort of move back in. For example, in this case, right, everyone will be thinking, oh, we're heading to, we're going to be breaking 67K today. But in reality, you can see here that, the stat that this isn't going to get taken out this week again. For the rest of the week, you end up going sideways. So I highly recommend you doing your due diligence in that case in regards to looking at the Monday range without sort of just having this kind of fugazi type of thought, or gut hunch as to whether this Monday range can be beneficial. Of course, you can be looking at market structure, etc. But break it down to its bare basics. What Monday range. You're saying it's influential. What are the key components you're looking at in regards to Monday range? Well, you're looking at, for example, okay, even here, look at this. So the opposing side pivot being protected, but you're looking at the highs and the lows. So obviously start thinking about how you can collect data on those pivots, right? So obviously if one gets taken, okay, this is the way my brain works. One gets taken, what's the likelihood the other does also or doesn't, right? And in this case here, you can see that we've had one, the Monday high get taken in this case, okay, and then you get this massive move down. Again, everyone's shorting, shorting, shorting. This just gives you a simple invalidation on its own to see a potential bounce, because maybe you have stats to show that this pivot isn't going to get taken out, it's going to be protected. Obviously, you then get a move back up again, and then maybe next week you can continue that move down. But it just offers this sort of protection, invalidation, sort of going beyond any sort of limits. Where price can really see a move down to, or stop moving at. Because if people are thinking, oh, we're heading now to zero, and we're going to take the opposing side, but you need to have data on this stuff and really just, go through it day by day, collect 10 pivots a day, go through 10, 10, 10. After a few weeks, all of a sudden, you've got all the data you need from 2-3 years worth of data to know, okay, whether the opposing side pivot is going to be hit or not in terms of percentages. Um, so yeah, I'd highly recommend you doing that. Hopefully this video has made a bit of sense to you. Again, I've been using this the last few weeks. Again, this week we didn't actually get any sort of influential data based upon this. You didn't see, we've remained inside, so you don't have a protected pivot. But it's definitely a concept to look at, and don't just go for my word for this. It's something to look for. Maybe I'm talking shit, right? Maybe I'm talking shit, but you don't know that or until you've collected your own data on this stuff. Okay, you can see here the break, the protection. Everyone's looking for massive rallies, and all of a sudden, this pivot is being protected, so you see the move down. And I'm looking at this weekly. I mean, the best ones are really where you actually see the move back into the Monday range, and it moves very close to your protected pivot, and then it sees a pullback again. Because then you can actually see continuation for actual major new lows. Okay, especially if you have a large wick to fill on the daily. So you can see here, this is another thing I'll maybe cover, but you have a large wick fill there, so you don't actually get the large wick fill and further continuation. It was just like a perfect move, and perfect for intraday or weekly almost bias points to see that Monday range. And obviously, if you have your data on it, yeah, it can work really, really well for you. So hopefully you found this beneficial. Go do your testing, but hopefully I've given you enough details here for you actually to go and do that. It's very, very basic. Always break down a sellable strategy to its bare basic components, and in this case, you can start clarifying up what your God, I've lost my train of thought there. You'll start to clarify what your edge is. Have percentage bias points, have high hit rate levels, and so on and so forth. But yeah, hopefully that makes a lot of sense for you all, and you find that beneficial. I'll catch you all next time.